I mean, it's certainly not a libertarian moment right now. I guess the way I'd put it.
Yeah, sure. Um, when I was listening to you speak with no, I guess you were speaking with Russ Roberts, but somehow the juxtaposition of Martin Gurri's position, so
Uh-huh.
sort of revolt of the elites,
Uh-huh.
in one sentence summarized as sort of, I guess, via social media at this point, the elites, as he terms them, are sort of exposed to the populace for being, not maybe what people thought they were at previous times. And at the same time, the people can somehow organize themselves. I know Gurry has been a little critical of their ability to really organize themselves in a longer term fashion, as opposed to just a frenzy which peters out after some months. And
Yeah.
then Ross Roberts at times has spoken about the fact that there's just a splintering of what was once kind of 2, 3 media outlets, TV stations, which were really sort of sense making, to use the terminology of like Eric Weinstein, for instance.
Yeah.
And I think you've also been you've also said some things to sort of that that effect. And what that strikes me as from one angle is it's a lot. It's a heavy focus on not the actual content or message or political policy, but rather simply the interplay. The network theory of what's going on itself leads to discontent, etc. Do you see some actual truth to that? That regardless of
Yes.
what the underlying social sort of level
I,
is.
I see a lot to that. Um, I think of one of the ways I conceptualize things a lot is with the Dunbar number,
Yeah.
which is sort of the number uh, of sort of groups in a mammal setting that can that can kind of operate. And uh, it's from an anthropologist, Robin Dunbar. And for humans, the number is 150. That is, humans can recognize about 150 faces, give or take. And so they can operate kind of informally up to that number. And that's kind of, I think that's true for businesses, that if your business has about 150 people or less, you might look around at other businesses that have, formal organization charts and fancy, complex compensation policies and say, what do you need that for? And then when you find yourself in an organization that's bigger than the Dunbar number, all of a sudden you see, oh, things kind of break down if you don't have more formal communication channels and decision processes. So, sorry, take me back to what we were.
Yeah, it was about if it's really the median, not the message
Okay,
that's.
okay. So how does so what I think that the media have done has created confusion in that we're used to, with old media, we lived in a world where, our everyday encounters were with people, we were with the immediate world, the sub-Dunbar world. Uh, our friends, our family, our coworkers, things like that. Um, and then uh, the the world of politics and celebrities was a remote world. That was, we saw them on screens or in magazines or on television or something like that. Now we're in a world where um, your friends are on a screen, you flick your finger, and now you're looking at a celebrity on a screen. And I think people are very kind of confused by that. And I think they're much more emotionally caught up with the remote world, the world of the celebrities and so on. So it just hits them with much more emotional kick. So um, so the problems of African Americans with police hits with much more of an emotional kick than it would have before. So uh, so that I think has really, so I think that does account for some of the uh, differences in the way, in the sort of intensity of politics today compared to what it was